Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. The first tournament in Rastakhan's Rumble post second nerf wave was played last night. It was the monthly Masters Cup, which is a small tournament. This time it was just 12 players. That is not casted anywhere, which is kind of awkward, because the Masters Cup is a tournament where only the players who had gathered the most points during 2018 season can participate. So we're talking about best of the best Hearthstone players, but the only way to see any of the games is from some of the players' personal streams. However, there is a Battlefy bracket of that tournament, which is down in the description with all the deck lists and everything. So we got the results, and we got a look at the deck lists. So in this video I'm going to take a look at what kind of decks people were bringing, what kind of lineups people were bringing, and highlight a couple of the most unusual decks. The tournament was played in a best of 5 with 1 ban conquest format, and these are the results. The winner of the tournament was Jala, with Kallax coming in second, and Seohyun and BoarControl reaching positions 3 and 4. 4 of the best players got cash prizes. And taking a glimpse at these lineups, lots of Death Rattle Hunters, Midrange Hunters, Clone Priests, Cube Warlocks, Even Warlocks, Quest Rogues, and overall a lot of different archetypes. When you look at the top 4, Death Rattle Hunter present in many of those lineups, Cube Warlock, all of the Cube Warlocks that in that tournament hit top 4. And then a surprising variety of priests. There's a Mind Blast Priest, there's a Clone Priest, there's a Combo Priest. All sorts of priests, and a couple of different druids, Hakar druid and then a pure traditional Dogwaggle druid. And then some quest rogues and a Murloc Paladin. Compiling numbers from that lineup data into class and archetype based data, we can see that as for classes there were 12 players, 10 brought Hunter, 10 brought Priest, 9 brought Warlock. Clear top 3 classes in this tournament. 6 brought Rogue. Rogue had in the last tournament of the pre-nerf meta already risen to the level of the other top classes, so there were clearly 4 classes that we were bringing more than the others. But now nerfs, Rogue fell down a little bit. And perhaps unsurprisingly, not a single player brought Shaman. I suppose that is what happens when there is a class that has a single viable deck and that deck gets nerfed. So Shaman has nothing left. That is not to say that the deck choices in this tournament were optimal. We got the nerfs just a couple of days ago, there was very little time to test. I expect major changes once the real tournaments of this meta start kicking in. Because just looking at this, there's 22 different archetypes brought by 12 players. And that's an incredible level of variety. Lots of Death Rattle Hunters, lots of Even Warlocks, lots of Quest Rogues. Note that Even Warlock, none of them made it to the top 4, whereas all the Cube Warlocks did, so you can see some interesting things there. One of the players brought Wall Priest, the new hype deck, and then there were a couple of really off-meta choices, like there was a Dragon Mage in this tournament. There was also Rush Warrior, and an old favorite Murloc Paladin. So that's the sort of variety you get when there's a new patch, there's very little time to test, and players really cannot come to conclusive results on what's going to be the best archetypes to bring. So overall you cannot draw too many conclusions from this tournament. But it's still interesting to see what people thought that would be good this early in the meta, and let's go take a look at a couple of those off-meta decks, because they are some pretty interesting ones. You can find the deck codes of all of these decks down in the description. And first, I mentioned Dragon Mage. Yes, Ryvius brought a Dragon Mage. It's really a variant of Big Spell Mage, because there's 2 copies of Dragon's Fury, there's Blizzards, Meteors, Flame Strikes, Jaina, all that stuff. But instead of any other real win conditions, this deck is filled with dragons. There's 5-3 Witch Doctors that can discover more spells for the deck. And there's Drake, which I guess can synergize with Jaina. You can play Marsh Drake and you can ping the Poisonous Drake Slayer. So Marsh Drake is a card that I have really wanted to make work, but I have never figured out how. Maybe this is some kind of a solution. Then there's Scale Worm and Scorchers, Roaster, Primordial Drakes, of course Syndragosa and Alexstrasza, and in order to fight combo decks like all big spell mages do nowadays if they want to try to fight those combo decks somehow, there's a Mojo Master Z. Just set their mana total so low that they can't combo and try to pressure them down. Definitely an interesting build. I hope we would have seen some games with this, unfortunately we didn't. But if you're a little bit bored, then this might be something to try. I have long wondered whether Rush Warrior is just a meme or if it can be an actual deck, and this is a build that Monsanto chose to bring to the tournament. You can't quite see all the cards, there is actually one more card at the bottom, there is a Lich King. So many one-offs. And so many legendaries: Lich King, Garrosh, Grom, Countess, Mojo Master, Cairn, Ziliax, Darius, Keleseth. This is the new Wallet Warrior, even though it does completely different things than what Wallet Warrior did, because this is an aggressive deck. It's a Keleseth build after all, with Frothing Berserkers in it, lots of rush minions, Fungal Mancers, and some good reach at the end with Grom. And then there is that Lich King. This deck doesn't mess up with any sort of Akali plays or that sort of shenanigans, it just goes for a more pure, straightforward approach. So if you're looking for a Rush Warrior deck to play, then maybe this is something to try out. Finally, even though this is by no means a brand new build, it's a Murloc Paladin. Well, you nerf Paladin, you bring back the Murlocs. So just a pure, old school Tidecaller into Rockpool Hunter, Hydrologist to get some secrets, War Leaders, Amalgams, buffs and more buffs. And of course Tarim and Call to Arms. Really old school Murloc aggression. In this build even with double Divine Favors, so really expecting to face some of those more control oriented decks and just put all sorts of stuff on the board and hit and run out of resources, no problem, Divine Favor, draw 8 cards, go again. It might not be new, but maybe it can come back. So that's what the first tournament in the post-nerf Rastakhan meta looked like. Still very much unrefined, but at least there were a couple of fun decks there, so maybe there's something that you can try out on ladder. And perhaps you can find a little bit of insight into what the future tournament meta might look like as well. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the show, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more.